We're here south of the border. It may look like Mexico, but we're actually at a tourist haven or tourist trap on the South Carolina border on I-95 called South of the Border. We're about 100 feet into South Carolina. We'll be heading down to Orangeburg here first this morning. So we'll be tweeting throughout the day, periscoping throughout the day. We're going to go down to South Carolina State University and talk to younger voters around there, as well as local folks in Orangeburg. So more soon, but welcome to the border. We drove into the heart of South Carolina to Orangeburg, a county that has a huge base of African American, mostly Democratic voters. Home to one of the state's famous HBCUs, South Carolina State University. This also meant we got to speak with many younger African American students. The path to Orangeburg is largely rural, a mix between agriculture, local business, and some pockets of poverty in an area that has long faced challenges ever since the Civil War and the effects of Jim Crow laws and segregation. I wanted to talk to African American students to get a better sense of their perceptions on the candidates. Though there to talk about the Democratic race, it was actually a Republican, Dr. Ben Carson, that was having a town hall on campus. While he perhaps did not have the most receptive crowd, candidates need to be able to reach micro-pockets of voters, be they conservative Christian African Americans who might be willing to vote for Carson, or first-time African American voters who might go for Sanders. These microdynamics can help a candidate get that 1 or 2% more of the vote. But back on the Dem side, our goal was whether Sanders was getting traction with these voters in the heart of the South. The head of the South Carolina State College Democrats, a Clinton supporter, said Clinton still had the edge.
On the Democratic side, the campus has primarily been gravitating towards Hillary Clinton, and I would say the reason for that is twofold, because Hillary has outlined practical solutions to the problem. She's not just a one-issue candidate. And not only that, but her campaign has had a presence on our campus since April of last year, as opposed to Senator Sanders' campaign, which just came about a month ago.
But most students I talked to had a different perception, considering it a little more fluid of a race between the candidates, with Sanders seeming to have gained traction over the last few months. The Northwest is home to many of the state's most conservative voters, the landscape part of the Appalachian Mountains, making it more akin to Tennessee or even West Virginia than the coastal realities of a city like Charleston. There, I witnessed a Trump event in the town of Gaffney, a small town of just over 12,000 folks not far from the North Carolina border. Trump was able to pull almost half of that, as those in the attendance numbered in the thousands. Like we found in Orangeburg, it's important not to lump voters into broad demographic categories or label all of a candidate's voters as being alike. In the crowd, there were business folks, older couples, parents with young children, veterans, as well as those who like to cheer as though it was a sporting event. And what issues did they say mattered to them and what drew them to Trump?
I like his stance on immigration.
Is this your first political event this season, or?
No, I've been to rallies for all the candidates so far.
Okay. And are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
So when did you decide to become a Trump supporter?
When he came out with an actual plan to help the disabled veterans and the rest of the veterans.
And thus, our trip to South Carolina was done. Once again, I saw firsthand why it's so important not to listen to punditry or analysis that brushes with too broad a stroke. Be they African American students or Trump supporters, no two voters within any demographic or category are exactly alike. And it's important to remember that each has their own life experience that shaped their eventual vote. Super Tuesday is close upon us, but for now, I shall end my night across the street from the Trump event, where in that tiny town of Gaffney lies the wonderful taste of some Stouffer's mac and cheese.